It's 3 a.m. Your mind spins through tomorrow's emails, replays awkward moments, or simply begs for sleep that never comes. We live surrounded by space-age foam mattresses and apps claiming to optimize REM cycles. Yet we're the most exhausted generation to ever lie down in a bed. Here's the irony. 500 years ago, without central heating, memory foam, or the modern sleep industry, our ancestors slept deeper than we do today. They didn't fight their biology. They worked with it. Welcome to Lost Ways of Warmth. In my search to understand why I kept waking up exhausted, I went backward in time, digging through 15th and 16th century inventories to decode how people actually slept. What I found was a physical system, a carefully engineered structure of straw, wool, and feathers designed to cool the body, calm the nerves, and hold you gently until morning. At the center was a simple ritual called the tuck. This wasn't superstition. It was physics and biology woven into nightly routine. 500-year-old technology that modern science is only now beginning to explain. Part 1. Why your expensive mattress betrays you. To understand why a 500-year-old system might outperform modern mattresses, confront this truth. The modern sleep environment is engineered for softness, not biology. And biology always wins. Foam mattresses feel perfect at first touch. They hug your body, mold to your shape. Yet underneath lies a design flaw modern sleep science can no longer ignore. For the body to fall asleep and stay asleep, core temperature must drop by about 1 degree Celsius. This tiny shift unlocks melatonin, slows the racing mind, opens the door to deep sleep. Here's the trap. Modern mattresses, especially dense foams and synthetics, act like thermal vaults. They store your heat, hold it, then return it to you. As hours pass, trapped heat forms an insulated bubble, preventing your body from cooling down. Around 2 to 3 a.m., when melatonin should peak, your mattress has absorbed all the heat it can. It stops being your bed and becomes your furnace. Your body panics, cortisol rises, your nervous system jolts you awake, drenched in sweat. Heat is only half the betrayal. Every night you lose nearly a liter of moisture through breath and sweat. Natural fibers disperse it. Synthetic bedding traps it. You sleep in a sealed plastic chamber instead of a breathable cocoon, causing dozens of micro-awakenings your conscious mind never notices, but your exhausted body definitely does. This is the modern paradox. We designed mattresses to feel luxurious the moment we lie down, but not to support the thermodynamics of actual sleep. We optimized the first 5 minutes and neglected the next 8 hours. Our ancestors had no choice but to work with nature. Their beds were engineered tools, layered systems built to control heat, humidity, airflow, and pressure in ways our synthetic world has forgotten. Part 2. The medieval architecture of sleep. In 16th century households, the bed was often the single most valuable possession, more valuable than tables or clothing. It was technology layered with purpose. This is the 500-year-old trick. The foundation. At the bottom sat a canvas tick stuffed with straw, resting on ropes or slats to lift the sleeper off cold floors. Straw's structure is hollow, each stem a tiny air channel. Air moves through it, dissipating heat, breaking up moisture, preventing the suffocating thermal bubble that modern foam traps. The engine. Above came the wool mattress. Wool absorbs up to 30% of its weight in moisture without feeling wet. It pulls sweat away from skin, disperses it, releases it slowly into air. Every fiber has natural crimp that traps little pockets of still air, insulating when cold, cooling when hot. Active climate control without electricity, the crown jewel. Finally, the feather bed, a tick filled with goose or duck feathers, sometimes weighing 50 pounds. Unlike memory foam, which collapses and holds heat, feathers move, shift, breathe, create insulation without sealing you in. But brilliance wasn't only materials, it was the relationship people had with their beds. Each morning, the feather bed had to be shaken, fluffed, beaten with a bedstaff to introduce air back into it, to reset the structure. This ritual was maintenance, interaction, quiet tending to the thing keeping you alive through cold nights. When all three layers came together, straw tick, wool engine, feather cloud, they formed the heavy nest. A structure that didn't just regulate temperature, but applied comforting distributed pressure across the body. It held you, it anchored you, it signaled to your nervous system, you are safe. Part 3. The science behind it. Now we can explore why this felt so powerful, why straw, wool and feathers could do what modern sleep aids fail to achieve. Ever notice how much better you sleep beneath a heavy winter duvet compared to thin summer sheets? Or why infants instantly relax when swaddled? These aren't coincidences. They're ancient biological responses wired deep within the body. The people of the 1500s didn't have neuroscientific vocabulary, but their beds were built around what modern researchers now call deep pressure stimulation. When someone slid into a medieval bed, they were held. They sank into feather clouds, but were covered by wool blankets and layers heavy enough to create unmistakable containment. Soft but grounding, weighty but breathable. A physical whisper to the nervous system that threat had ended for the night. Deep pressure stimulation works because the body has a dual operating system. Sympathetic nervous system, fight, flight, dread, mental spiraling. Parasympathetic, digestion, healing, restoration, sleep. The medieval heavy nest flipped the switch. It shifted sleepers out of vigilance and into surrender. Modern studies confirm what ancestors felt intuitively. Gentle pressure increases serotonin and dopamine, the brain's natural stabilizers. It decreases cortisol, the hormone of worry and midnight panic. It quiets the mind by anchoring the body, telling it through touch alone, you are safe now. Yet today's weighted blankets can't replicate what the past achieved because their weight is inert. Glass beads press down without breathing. Over time, they trap heat and comfort becomes claustrophobia. The medieval system was different. Straw circulated air beneath you. Wool carried moisture away from skin. Feathers lifted and settled with your breath. Together, these created breathable weight, grounding the body without suffocating it. Then came the tuck. By pulling sheets and blankets tightly under the mattress, the sleeper created a 360-degree cocoon. Movement was slightly restricted. The startle reflex was softened. The mind eased its grip on wakefulness. They simply knew that a bed should hold you the way an embrace holds a child, firmly enough to reassure, gently enough to let you drift away. Part 4. My experiment and results. To understand this technology, I had to build it. I recreated a 16th century bed, firm breathable base mimicking straw tick, thick 100% wool topper, high loft feather bed, linen sheets, and 2 dense wool blankets. What surprised me was the labor. Making this bed is not passive. You fluff feathers, smooth wool, pull blankets tight until your forearms burn. Yet something unexpected happens. The mind begins to quiet. By taking 5 minutes to build my nest, I signaled to my brain that the day was done. I wasn't collapsing into bed scrolling my phone. I was preparing a space for rest deliberately, almost ceremonially. When I slid under the blankets, it didn't have sinking marshmallow softness. It had structure, support. The weight settled over me like a steady hand, reassuring rather than restrictive. With all that layering, you'd expect heat. But the linen felt cool. The wool breathed. The feathers shifted. No stifling warmth, no humidity. Just gentle, stable neutrality. I lay waiting for the familiar spiral of thoughts that usually come alive when the room goes silent. But they didn't. The sensory world took over first. The weight, the texture, the stillness. And for the first time, in a long time, my mind yielded because my body felt anchored, cocooned, unburdened enough to let everything else go. I woke up at 6:30 a.m. No jolt at 3 a.m. No overheating, no tossing. Just rest, the kind that feels like someone pressed a reset button inside your body. It wasn't magic. It was biology doing what it's supposed to do when given the right conditions. The wool and linen created true thermal neutrality. My body temperature dropped that crucial degree and stayed there. Without a heat spike at 3 a.m., cortisol never surged. The sleep cycle stayed intact. The weight acted like a full-body exhale. Deep pressure stimulation quieted my nervous system faster than any breathing exercise. And the ritual of making the bed created a boundary between day and night that my overstimulated brain clearly needed. Conclusion: the lesson: sleep is not passive. It's a craft, a nightly practice, a partnership between body and environment. To sleep well, the environment must be designed around biology, not marketing trends. You don't need to rebuild a Tudor bed, but you can adopt the principles. Choose natural fibers, wool, linen, cotton, that breathe with you instead of against you. Welcome weight, because steady pressure is medicine for a racing mind. And cool your environment, because every degree your body fails to release is a degree of sleep you never reach. History isn't merely a record of wars and kings. Sometimes history is a survival manual. Sometimes it's a whisper, reminding us how to be human in a world pulling us away from our roots. And sometimes the cure to a modern ailment is wrapped not in technology or medication, but in a 500-year-old blanket. This is Lost Ways of Warmth. If this helped you understand your sleep differently, share it with someone who can't sleep. And tell me, what's your biggest sleep struggle? Stay warm, stay rested, and I'll see you in the next deep dive.